joined now by head coach at Washington State University men's basketball. Kyle Smith is with us. First of all, I've got to say this in full transparency. A lot of times we do these interviews, radio, but we do them Zoom. One thing we've learned over the weird pandemic year is doing radio interviews via Zoom. We get a couple things. One, better video or better audio quality. And two, we also look at each other. It's nice to be able on radio to be able to see somebody, very much like what we do with television. But I got to say, as I look over here as a Coug, a proud Coug, I look over and I see Smith Tower behind you. Kyle Smith with Smith Tower. It doesn't get much better than that. How are you?
In Smith Gymnasium over here too, or Smith Athletic Center, wherever it is. They've embraced me and pulled me.
They're naming the listen. All of a sudden, you start bringing that program back up. They all of a sudden start naming things after you.
Yeah, there should be a lot of Bennett stuff around here too. To be honest, they did a pretty good job.
He did. Thompson, Bennett, Baines, etc.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations on getting through a season. I know it was a challenge. I know you had some issues along the way. As we kind of get back, Kyle, to I always wanted to say a sense of normalcy. We're not quite normal yet. None of us are yet. But as we kind of keep moving back in that direction, and you look back at this crazy year that you had, that everybody had in college athletics, what did you take from it? What did you learn from it? Is there anything you got out of that maybe makes you guys better, stronger, or just a better program as a whole?
A lot of actually self-care for myself. Like, some guy gave you a chance to really kind of slow down, introduce myself to my family more, and being present there. I think helps your team, helps your program. We talk about all the time, faith, family, team, academics, and having those priorities straight. And in our business, you can get chasing on the recruiting trail. I think Chris Peterson's documented pretty well what happened to him, where his attitude was and what his perspective was. And I think that's probably helped me, but in turn, I think that's going to help our team more. The indecisiveness of how to proceed last year really took it out on everybody. Kind of, you might have a contact trace, you might have this, you don't know if you're going to play a game. And at this point last year, we didn't know if we were going to have a summer, when it was going to start. We were getting different dates would move. And the joy of kind of this spring, literally pulling out my calendar and trying to map out how things are going to go and feeling pretty confident that we're going to get back on the track is a great feeling.
It has to be. Well, let's move ahead a little bit. As you go into this offseason, right now officially you have 3 new players coming in, Mohammed Gay, Kim Aiken Jr., Tyrell Roberts, and there's a ton of excitement about your program and where you're headed, especially with the young guys coming back. Take a step back, though, if you can, for me. What is Kyle Smith's philosophy in terms of building a program? You have 1 confirmed transfer coming in, 2 confirmed transfers coming in Aiken and Roberts, but it really kind of feels like you're still building from the ground up with freshmen. You had that great freshman front court last season with Abagidi and Deshaun Jackson and others. What is your philosophy in terms of building college basketball? Because it's a changing climate in college basketball.
Yeah, no, I think it was really important for us when I got here, I just thought we need to get guys that want to be here, and retention's important, and not fully for myself, not knowing what Pullman was about, but had a really good vibe, and everyone that you meet that's an alum, they're really excited about it. And then me and my family really embraced. My wife's from, Lake Chelan State, but it's been awesome. So I think I was surprised by the fact that we've been able to keep our guys. They enjoy going to school here, which I think is the best thing. It's just a hard place to get to. You don't get a traffic of unofficial visits and players in there. So, but once they're here, it's great. So I feel more confident that we could spread our wings a little bit on recruiting. But initially it was, hey, we got to get guys with great attitudes, great work ethic, and guys who really want to be here. And I thought that's the last one being the most important thing. So like, even a guy like bringing in DJ Rodman, everyone's like, oh, you're taking Dennis Rodman's son. I said, you know what? Mom's from Monroe, Washington. They were so excited about the opportunity for her to be reconnected with people, to the point where DJ got a sister who was the number 1 soccer player in the country, that she wanted to come here. So I think that kind of building the program, and people have gone here, they've really appreciated it. The people in town appreciate it. It's kind of what we're about. And it's the right time in my life with, 3 kids. So just trying to build that culture with guys that want to be here, instead of, just trying to get the best talent, the best fit. It's a twofold thing. We've been able to, I think, attract pretty good talent from really all over the world. And I think they really, and we had one guy go in the portal this year in Jazz Kuntz, which I didn't want to happen, but and I respect him. He wanted to find a different situation that was maybe enhance his deal, but I think that's a great track record for what's going on in some programs. You just haven't won. I think that's going to be our key to building it and having success.
I would agree. Kyle Smith, Wazoo head basketball coach, joining us, and that's. I was going to ask you that, but it kind of sounds like the answer is no. I mean, I hear a lot of coaches across the country say they're worried about the transfer portal. They almost have to re-recruit their own guys every year. It doesn't feel like you're that way. You have guys that are in, and the retention rate's high.
And I think it's just the way my staff. I think got a really good staff. And the way it's kind of all I know a little bit. I played. My high school coach was coached 35 years, same school. My college coach was 30 years. So, and now I'm at a place where you can really get some roots. I mean, I was in Manhattan coaching at Columbia. I was there 6 years. That's a tough place to really burrow down in. San Francisco, same thing. So it's kind of happy to be here. And I hope that's what it is. I think they feel, you never know. I mean, there's still a long summer, but, but I mean, well, you're not shocked by anything. And I'm unique in the sense of just kind of my philosophy is that I respect their agency and we want guys that are going to opt in. I don't want to feel like they're coerced to have to stay here, but it's good. And I think that's why we have a good culture. I think we do. We don't talk about, culture, this and that. It's like, it's kind of what we are, what we do. And it's not easy. It's just, but if you focus on the positives, I think that helps. I
think it helps having, character kids too. And I mean, I think Noah Williams to me is the top of the list, a guy that was ignored by so many schools in the Northwest. And then you got to Wazoo, the first thing you did is you bring in Noah Williams, and he comes with that Seattle basketball attitude, that Rotary basketball attitude. But he also, I saw him say something the other day on social media. He said, if I feel sorry for you if Kyle Smith isn't your head coach. Feels like he might be your best recruiter.
Now, he's a phenomenal recruiter, and he's got an unbelievable charisma. And again, we talk about attitude, work ethic, guys that really want to be here. And that's a lot about just pride in the program. And he had a built-in, it might have been hard on him, but he's obviously got a built-in legacy with his dad being a really good player here. And yet he's carved out his own niche, his own footprint. But there's still people live in town that remember his dad. And he's just got a lot of pride. He's a great competitor. And he's grown up a lot. And I think guys often leaving home helps that way. And a guy like from Seattle that come to Pullman, and it's a really good environment to kind of grow up that way. And it's a great story and it has a chance to keep growing. I hope that that initial group was where I really preached to them, hey, you guys are going to be the foundation. You guys are going to be, if we turn this thing, there'll be, we'll talk about those guys. I think Noah's really grown with it and he's really embraced that challenge.
Well, I mean, that's how Bennett built it. I mean, he brought those guys in. They took their lumps for a couple of years, and then in the end, it was the Cowgills and those types of guys that made a difference. I Noah seems to be like the kind of kid you also have to rein in every now and then. I'm sure he's a challenge in that regard. I'm not sure if anybody he pushes the buttons of officials more than anybody in the league, but I like that. He's got a little burr in the back. It's fine.
Oh yeah, the comparison of my generation would be Danny Ainge. I mean, he's like on your team. He's in there fighting, and he's proud. He's a competitor. He's a winner. And I think that he's just growing. Like I said, like I'll take him that way. He's really aggressive personality and not afraid to fail. Biggest thing is just not afraid to lay it on the line every night, and that's a great place to start.
It's a good place to have. Let's talk about some of the guys you're bringing in. Mohammed Gay from the Senegal. I guess he reclassified, 6'11". Coming in. You've already got two just, really fun kids to watch, and Deshaun Jackson and F.A. Abagidi. Mohammed Gay, I guess, is the highest rated recruit for Wazoo. He just topped Klay Thompson. I don't know if Klay knows that yet, but tell us about this young man.
Well, I hope if he's 50% of Klay, he's going to be a heck of a player. So let's start with that. He's a great compliment to Deshaun and F.A. To be honest, he's got the size, the length, really quick feet. His physical maturity, he'll need that. It's like, I don't want to put a huge expectation on him, but he's got a couple guys there they'll be able to lead the way. And I don't think Deshaun and F.A. are physically mature enough body-wise to be able to play 35 minutes. That's rare for a guy. So he could really help us that regard, just giving us that depth there and let him learn as he goes. But he's got a little more of a feel on perimeter skills than those two, but he can play inside and out. So he's one of those guys that's interchangeable defender too. So if switching stuff. You watch all these NBA games. I'm watching, almost everyone switches a lot of stuff, and he's one of those guys that can probably switch 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 5, and those are really valuable pieces. And I think we should be really good defensively, and he helps that.
Well, I know you like defense. Kim Aiken comes in from Eastern Washington, Defensive Player of the Year, the Big Sky. How does he fit into your rotation? Where does he kind of fit for you?
He's probably got the easiest path to. We lost Jazz, and Jazz became a really important piece for us. And when he did, I said, well, no, Kim's cut of the same cloth. They're not exact same player, but they're potentially that Kim could be even more. I wish he had been in our program, but he's got a little more sturdiness to him. He's 230, 6'7", 230. He can play. I think he can guard. Same thing. He can play all 5 guys defensively. He can make threes, and he's a tremendous rebounder. So he just, in being mature and being a college graduate already, just kind of need that too with our young guy. He can really help. He's a really responsible guy. I'm sure people in Eastern Washington know that already. And so I think he's. I don't think we'll miss a beat, but it'll be tough making the transition. But I think he really fills in that gap because it hurt us to lose Jazz. We really appreciate and love what he did for us.
Kyle Smith joining me. 2 more guys I want to ask you about before we just wrap it up and get general. Tyrell Roberts comes in from San Diego, Division II All-American, and Jefferson Koulibaly, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He redshirted for you last year from Montreal. We think he might be a point guard for you. Just kind of, if you can touch on those 2 guys a little bit.
Yeah, easy. Ty Roberts, a guy I've seen since he was a junior in high school. And he's just one of those guys that kind of, after the recruiting process, he ended up signing late with UC San Diego. And you knew kind of missed one. He was on state finalist, and I was like, oh, that guy's good. And there are people in Sacramento telling me. And so he goes to UCSD and just kills it. And they're making the transition to Division I, COVID. And so when he became available, I just think we're really fortunate. So again, another veteran with Isaac being gone. He's a little smaller, but brings a lot of the same thing. Play both combo guard, can really guard the ball, and he's a really good shooter. And more than that, just brings winning DNA, like his high school team, Wood Creek High School, really good. And then he just continued that his last year at UCSD. They're 30-1. And so I don't know anyone in our program to be very fortunate to go to UCSD and be in a 30-1 pro. So just guys going to have good habits, accustomed to winning. Obviously, it's a step up in competition, and that but he's going to be so squared away, I think, between the ears, and he's really hungry and really driven. So we're excited to have him. And then Jefferson, he had to have the labrum surgery, but he was able to practice about 3 weeks with us in the fall. So we have a good understanding of what he can do. And he's 6'2", 190. So, and he's a point guard, and he gives us a big, strong athletic. He'll offset like what Isaac did for us defensively. But I think he's elite on ball defender. And most of the time we had Noah guarding the ball last year, which he's good at, but it's not necessarily his strength. And I think Jefferson should be even better. And they'll have Noah punching through some passing lanes and stuff like that. But I think, like I said, I think we have a chance to be really good defensively. And I think we've added some pieces in Aiken, Gay, and Jefferson and Ty too. I think we got depth. And added some shooting and some skill, but also just I think we'll be able to really apply a little more pressure in the backcourt.
On paper, good team. I know it's a long summer though. How important is it? I mean, look at this on paper, and this is as good a team as we've seen at Wazoo since the Bennett days.
Yeah, I hope you're right. It's on paper and scouting, but we like them, and there's going to be they're taking some guys that I think are upgrade our overall talent. Sometimes can, that's our job. We got to blend these guys together and make sure we're doing things right. And I think we had really those first 2 classes. I like, we talk about the new ones now this time of year, but I like to, mention I think that first class did a great job and just setting the tone. Noah and DJ had really good sophomore campaigns. Ryan was hurt, but he helped us. And Vova has a purpose. He helps us. And Isaac did a great job. So, and then last year's groups, and I think even, their attitude's great, and there's more to come from them and these newcomers too. So it's a challenge, but we're excited.
My final question for you. A lot's going on in college basketball. I just saw Gonzaga announce that they're going to play a game in Seattle in the Climate Pledge Arena. They used to do that in Wazoo back when we had Key Arena and when it was a viable arena. You've got winter breaks. You got all those things going on. Would we see Wazoo play on this side of the state, not against Washington at some point in Climate Pledge?
We've actually in discussions with our marketing people. They wanted to try to get a game over there if we can find a good game. We would have liked to got in. I think Gonzaga's deal December 4th.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They picked a bad day because that's that weekend where we start league, so we can't do it. But we're gonna play. I think we got 2 games scheduled up in Spokane. One's during like graduation, so it was a opportunity. Couldn't play in Beasley, so it was an opportunity. Another one, I think we're playing Boise in Spokane. That'll be a good opportunity to just kind of spread our wings and across the state. And we got a lot of fans up in Spokane. I know that's I'm stepping on some Gonzaga toes, but would love to get over in Seattle and do something like that too, because it's kind of neat. I didn't realize when you're in Seattle how many Coug fans there are over there, and I get a lot of Go Cougs. I'm even spotted. Without my crimson on, I got a few go Cougs.
Hey, you know what? Feel free to take one of those Spokane games and bring it over to us in Seattle, man. We'd love to see you over here. All right.
We'll try to do that.
I appreciate your time today. Let's talk down the road. Have a great summer. I love the look behind you. God's country, sun is shining. Smith Tower back there, named after Kyle Smith. I love it.
I love it. Thanks.